Spring's a great time of year for the airgun hunter. Everything's starting to come back to life. Plants, animals, everything's springing back into life. New life and new growth. It's all around us. UK woodlands can be a magical place this time of year. If you're lucky enough to spend time in there, like we are as hunters, you get to see the beauty. It's a great time of year to see bluebells. That nice shade of blue, purple colour covering woodland floor. Such a special time. Young animals are springing up all around us. It's a young fawn with its mother grazing away. Spring's a critical time of year for the airgun hunter. It's a time of protection and giving new life, a good start in life. It's about covering ground and protecting the innocent from predators that roam all the land. A good place to start is looking after pheasant poults around the release pens. Our usual foes will be out in abundance, bringing their own broods up. They'll steal eggs and eat young chicks, and now is its prime time to target them and thin their numbers and keep breeding population to an acceptable level. The airgun is a perfect tool, good shot placement, and you can humanely dispatch the covids one by one. Young birds are nesting, they'll have chicks in the nest, they're busy feeding them, and your work in controlling covids will benefit them greatly. As well as shooting, you can use larson traps, these ethical ways and humane ways of controlling covid birds in the UK. If they're left unchecked, they'll slowly decimate populations of young animals, including rabbits. These are prime targets for crows. I mean, I've seen in previous videos of mine that they make short work of young rabbits. They're also a massive pest when it comes to lambing time. They'll peck at pregnant ewes when they lay down giving birth, and they'll also attack defenceless lambs, pecking at their orifices, pecking at their eyes. The next image you're going to see is quite graphic, but this is the sort of damage that crows, rooks, jackdaws, magpies, ravens in certain parts of the UK can inflict on something as large as a lamb. You can't deny that they're a beautiful, intelligent bird, but they are an apex predator in UK countryside. Without control, they'd have a devastating effect on all different species of wildlife. As an airgun hunter, you have a duty to protect the flora and fauna in the UK. I've heard instances where young broods of ducklings can be decimated. A good tactic for controlling rooks or crows is to target the nesting areas, rookeries in the instance of rooks, and shoot the branches and keep the population at an acceptable level. Again, the airgun is a perfect tool for the job, as long as you're competent, confident and accurate with your shot placement. As I've stated before, observation and preparation is key to everything that we do. Find the oats that they like to gather in or hang around in. Target those areas. You can control all different quarry species with this tactic. Another pest at this time of year, but a more difficult adversary, is the grey squirrel. While there's not many leaves still on the trees and new growth is still growing, look for the drays. They too will be having young. They can have 2-3 broods a year, depending on the conditions. Do considerable damage to tree bark. The sap's running at this time of year, so it makes it even more appealing to them. And when they ring trees or branches, that can decimate forestry and woodland. This time of year, it's difficult to get them to come to the feeders. There is still a chance though, but there's an abundance of new shoots and new buds that they like to feast on. If young broods of chicks like this are going to stand any chance, the non-native species needs to be controlled. Without control, sites like this would be few and far between. And although I'm an hunter, I'm a wildlife lover. As I said, you can have a few opportunities at feeders, but it's not prime time. You fill your feeders with peanuts at this time of year, and you place your shot in the right place, which is illustrated in the picture that's just popped up on screen. You can thin a few numbers like this. A better tactic at this time of year is to free hunt. By that I mean walking through woodland, looking for tree branches swaying, moving from side to side, or listening for chatter of squirrels, or simply just seeing them on the move. Free hunt them, stalk them, and control them, and keep them at a nice, reasonable population level. It's always a pleasure to see adult birds with the young going about the business. And the control work we do is vitally important to the UK countryside. During spring, I do a lot of hide preparation work. I set them up in spring so that the little bit of disturbance you create in a certain area will soon be masked by the new growth. This particular setup, it's not an elaborate hide, but the nature of the hedgerow will mean that within about 2 months' time, that'll be a nice cocoon. I'll be able to sit in there in the dark shadows and snipe from that place and control corvids, wood pigeons, and that kind of species. I can't say enough, but preparation is key to any success. Farmyard areas are a key place for an airgunner at this time of year.
I've already light on farm, so I didn't have my camera set up first thing.
There's a lot of activity.
But I've had a couple of collards out of this
there's a lot of movement
here.
And a lot of disturbance in these areas. There's also a lot of feed and a lot of spillage around, and that's ideal for the Norwegian rat or the brown rat, as it's commonly known in the UK. Rats tend to breed this time of year, but I've also found that they breed late winter, December, January time, and they're very territorial at that time of year. So early spring's a prime time for them. You'll be shooting a lot of the young from the previous broods, and you're preventing further broods a little bit later into the year and into summer, before the rats move out into the fields, hedgerows, and start feasting on natural food. With modern night vision equipment, you can amass good bags and prevent disease to livestock and disease in cattle feed. Everything's breeding. For me, in particular, feral pigeons are a problem at this time of year. They can have 3-4 broods depending on weather conditions and conditions that they live in, and they create a lot of mess, and they carry harmful diseases in the droppings to humans. Good way of controlling these, as you've seen in previous videos, is by lamplight at night when they're at roost in old industrial units and buildings. By shooting these, you're preventing disease spreading to the human population. And again, you're just controlling numbers and keeping it at a reasonable level. It's not about wiping everything out. It's about keeping things at a reasonable level so everything can live together in harmony in a wild situation. Tactics that I employ in my videos when it comes to feral pigeon control can be really effective. As you can see from this picture, you can quickly amass a good bag of birds